For all its controversy, Bitcoin recently hit a new all time high. Now, some may wonder if this is a mirage or only the beginning. My next guest, Terrence Yang, is a Bitcoin expert. He will help clarify many questions that our audience may have about Bitcoin and its long term possibilities. Terrence, welcome to Open Source.
Thanks for having me, Bobby. Good to see you again.
Well, our audience learned a lot from you on Daily Drop. We know that you know all things Bitcoin. And look, now Bitcoin's just hit a new all time high. What do we make of this?
I love it. I think it's going to continue to go higher in the short, medium, and long term.
Mm.
There will be pullbacks, but I think this is because of the flood of cash that's coming into Bitcoin ETFs, huge net inflows to the BlackRock and Fidelity ETFs in particular. And the net inflows are still positive, meaning more cash coming in than leaving, even though quite a bit of cash has been leaving the Grayscale GBTC ETF.
Right, and it was like these 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs approved in the U.S. Although we here in Canada we had spot Bitcoin ETFs before, but are you seeing like a big difference in Bitcoin? Like, is this going to affect even the floor? Because Bitcoin is notoriously volatile. Are we going to see it? I don't know, less volatile now?
Um, the volatility will continue until morale improves, but I think the floor is substantially higher.
Mm.
So the days of $14,000, $18,000 Bitcoin is over. There's just too much interest. This week, we've seen some declines in the Bitcoin daily price. Notwithstanding that, when you exclude the Grayscale GBTC ETF, which of course kind of existed before all the ETFs were approved as a trust, um, there's been overall net positive inflows into Bitcoin ETFs. And when you look at the Bitcoin futures markets and derivatives markets, also pretty positive trading volume, pretty healthy. I think we just have, what Bitcoin does, what it does. It has sudden rises up, and then it'll correct sometimes a little bit violently to the downside as people leverage, go long, and get margin called.
It's very exciting though, right? I mean, translation is basically a lot more people are excited about Bitcoin and a lot more people are buying Bitcoin, right?
Yes, I think a big reason is, as Corey, our CEO at Swan and founder, has said, the company I work at, basically you've replaced the top of the funnel and upgraded significantly, replacing Binance and FTX with BlackRock and Fidelity. So it's much more credible, much more legitimizing to investors, to many people who control a lot of money on Wall Street and for their families and so forth.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know at home, I mean, these are like the biggest Wall Street companies in the world. So let me ask you a question. How high, and again, no one knows for sure, but I know that you know the Bitcoin space very well. How high do you think it can go? I mean, right, it's been oscillating between, 65 to 70,000, hit a new all-time high. Some people are saying it's going to go to 150. Some people are saying a million. Some people are going 2.5 million. How high do you think Bitcoin can go?
The upside is uncapped, but basically uncapped, but in like for the next year, um, I think like doubling would be something that be realistic. And then I don't see it going over like say 200,000 within a year, but it might. But I just don't see it happening. I think that's a little too much price movement. But in terms of what Bitcoin can do medium and especially long term, I'm talking 10 years out or longer, Bitcoin can demonetize gold, can demonetize real estate and bonds, all these stores of value, long term stores of value. Bitcoin is at least that. And then eventually, if we're successful, Bitcoin can be an alternative, viable alternative to the US dollar and coexist with the US dollar probably for hundreds of years or something as other currencies become dollarized or become replaced by Bitcoin.
Well, we're going to get more into Bitcoin as an alternative to USD in a future segment, but I'm glad that you hit upon that.
Sure.
Um, we got Terrence Yang here. We're talking Bitcoin on open source.